For more on Martin Luther King Jr.'s holiday and how it's being marked, VOA's, I got in the studio here with me, Melvin Foote. He is the president and CEO of Constituency for Africa. It's very good to have you right here with me in the studio, Melvin. Thank you very much. And let's start out by you telling us how you're remembering this very significant day of Martin Luther King Jr.
Well, I think it's good for the country. It's good for the world. Martin Luther King was an icon. And I was like 17 years old when he died. And I recall how we felt. He was the one who lifted us up. So we have to remember him. We have to really praise the things that he achieved. I think it's important for us as a country. I think it's important for the world.
You know, you, like so many other Americans, have visited the memorial site, and you've seen a lot of people coming around, all through the weekend. What do you see and what do you feel when you are at the site of his memorial?
Well, I'm in Washington, so I go there. I'm a runner, so I go past there just about every day. And every time I go there, I always bow down and pay homage to Martin Luther King. It's good. I think our country needs healing. Our country needs unity. And Martin Luther King certainly represented that. Judge us not by our looks or what you think about us, judge us by our character and what we actually do. And I think some of the things that he stood for and all of his remarks are on the walls of the memorial. I think it's good for America. I think it's good for all of us.
There have been so many movements about, justice in the United States, justice around the world. What do you think Martin Luther King's message would be had he been alive today?
I think he would say that we got a lot of work ahead. It was not going to begin or end with him. We're talking about the next 100 years. I think we have to change who we are as human beings. I mean, I look at this country and I say, look at our legacy toward the American Indians. Look at our legacy toward Black Americans. Look, we have to correct this stuff. If we're going to go forward with humanity, we got to correct this stuff. All of us are human. All of us are entitled to food and water and shelter and security. All of us, whether you're black, yellow, white, brown, or whatever. I think King would say there's a lot of work ahead. So we must educate the young ones coming up because they got to take the baton and carry it forward.
You know, when you look around the world and just remembering the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit that just ended the other day, and the president here saying that Africa needs to be on the table and needs to be a permanent member of the G20, I'm just wondering what Martin Luther King's message would be today for the world as well.
I would think he would be happy about a lot of stuff. He would be happy about what President Biden did toward the summit. He would be happy about that. But he would not say, let's stop here and celebrate and go home. Let's use this as a platform to go forward. Let's change how we deal with Africa. Let's change how we transform the world. Let's change, because we have to, he would be a unifying for all humankind.
Okay, now I'm going to move you back to a story we just heard with our reporter Mariama Diallo about Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen going to visit the continent. She's going to be in Senegal. She's also going to go to Zambia as well as South Africa. What are your thoughts about this trip and of what significance is it to the continent of Africa?
Well, I'm happy about it. I don't know her personally, but I said, okay, the Treasury Secretary going to Africa is a big deal. I think she's going there to follow up on the summit. So it doesn't just get away. And tell the Africans that this is not about just having a big party. This is about some serious work going ahead. So the Africans have to also respond. My disappointment with Africa, quite frankly, when all the leaders came to Washington, they came by themselves. They didn't meet before they came here. They all came here on their own airplanes. They didn't call the diaspora up and say, what do you think we can get out of the Biden administration? I would have told them, come with 4 things. And Mr. Biden, we have 4 things we're asking you for. A, B, C, D. They would have left with 2 of those, the 3rd one by the end of this year. But they didn't do that. So they came, Gambia, talking about come to Gambia. Burundi say, come to Burundi. Come on. Africans need to come better organized to deal with the United States.
Perhaps they should have discussed this at the African Union level. All right, Mel, thank you so much for your perspective on MLK and on the Treasury Secretary heading to the continent of Africa. Melvin Foote is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Constituency for Africa.